Hey, Troy Christian here, and I'm here with my brother,
Timothy Milos.
winemaker extraordinaire, and you may recognize him from our film A Perfect Vintage. And I've been trying to get him to do a tasting with me for the longest time, and I brought a surprise up to Napa with me. It's a 2019 Syrah from Dragonette.
This is their small production, so I believe this is their flagship wine. And what I understand about Dragonette, which I've not had their wines, I'm glad that Troy brought them up, is that they are gorgeous. So let's take a look.
The most beautiful sound.
Happy sound.
The most beautiful sound I ever heard.
DM 10s, which means they won't be, or at least DM 10s, might be DM 30s, which means the wine will not be corked. It's actually a technical composite. I actually like these corks very much. Good sound. I like natural cork the best, but if you want wines not to be bad, you make good choices as a winemaker, and they sure did.
Let me see. Elixir of life is what that little symbol means. So there you go. So I'm excited to try this wine. I did a tasting with my other half and met the winemakers and the staff. It was awesome, and can't wait to see what Timothy thinks about this wine.
All right.
Wait, let me.
No, seriously, don't take wine too seriously.
Seriously, don't take wine too seriously. The slurp.
Rich, velvety, dark. It needs some time to open up. We just popped the cork and poured it. This really should take another 20 minutes, half an hour at least before we're really ready to drink that. So we may come back to this and keep tasting. So we'll enjoy what's in our glasses, and then through the night we'll come back and taste again and again. I think this, it's voluptuous, it's rich, it's dark, it's ripe. Lots of flavors, but it's still, because it's young and just open, it needs some time to really unfold. Dark fruit, sort of leatherette. To me, being a winemaker, smelling fruit in the vineyard, it's like a hot day in the vineyard where you smell kind of the earthiness and the chocolatiness and the dark fruit of Syrah in the hot sun. It still has those kind of carefree. It's earthy, it's minerally. There's still vibrant fruit to it. I want to see how this opens up with a layer. Syrah often is what we call reductive, and I don't mean that it smells like sulfides or that. There's another way we use that term where Syrah is closed and like it's been held in a dark place for a while. It needs to breathe and see the air, and that'll help all the fruit and everything show. So to me, it's very closed in, very dark, very closed. I wanted to open up and give it a little bit of time. So that's what swirling the wine in the glass, but giving it a little air in the bottle or decanting it will get us there, and we'll get to see everything this wine has to offer. It's actually why we age wine, is that in this wine, in another couple of years, we'll go through that process in the bottle, and you'll see it unfold more beautifully. So young wine, 2019, I think 2024, 2025 would be peak to start looking at this really. But we make wines to be enjoyed early generally these days. Given any wine, never having had it, you don't really know what it needs to enjoy it at its most. So the thing to do, pop the cork, take a taste, see what you think, and come back to it. So this is one of these, lots of air in the glass, and we'll enjoy the wine through the night.
Awesome. I'm going to enjoy some of this right now, actually, because there's sometimes an advantage to being not an expert, because you just kind of like hit the broad strokes and dive in and dig it. So I can tell you a little bit about the climate in Santanez. So it's the only spot on the west coast of the United States where the mountain range doesn't run north to south. It's east to west. So there's a constant cool breeze from the ocean heading east into the Santa Ynez Valley, and
which should keep the air temperature down and let the fruit ripen as long as they want to before they have to pick, because you don't get those, the danger of overheating, which we see in other places where the mountains run the other way and we get what we call offshore flow, and the air from the Central Valley runs out to the into the ocean and heats up our environment.
So we're back, and let's get a new impression. Super slurp.
So I don't know anything about the vineyard that this is from, but it reminds me of some of the sites in Saint Ynez and in the area that have a lot of sand in the soils, and you get this very soft, very open knit palate that's really very, it's appealing for a lot of drinkers of Syrah, Cabernet, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's opened up, it's showing a lot of red and black fruit, but there's this great sort of undercurrent of Syrah-ness. And for a Syrah, it doesn't mean anything to anybody, right? But for a Syrah lover, it could mean this kind of irony, meaty flavor, grilled beef, but also betadine. It's kind of this it's not quite metallic but it's a mineral character, but it could be just this kind of wild, savage, wild fruit. It can be black pepper, it can be white pepper, it can be black olive, and these are all kind of savory things. We're so used to drinking wines that are fruity and delightful because of that sweetness.
I'm a fan of the savory thing.
But that savory thing
But would this offend a vegetarian? Because
no, so
we're talking about all this meat
and I don't
in
mean
wine.
to be meaty. And well, how about roasted chanterelles or morels, where you get that same kind of deep, earthy richness from those things, which are equally delicious and that have that incredible savory richness to them. So that's the thing that I'm talking about in that. So this has that underneath. Red fruit, black fruit, and very plush, very soft palate. This open knit texture. And my take is this is not from a very cold site. This is from a moderately warm site. I think this is purely a guess. So I'd love to hear anybody in the comments tell me where it's from or where they know more about the vineyard than I do. But just based on what I taste. Nice touch of oak, not too much. Very well balanced. Very, very soft in the palate. It's an easy, in a certain sense, it's an easy drinking wine. That is to say, it's easy to love. And in the end, what we all want to know about wine is, do we enjoy it? Do we love the thing? Does it make for a nice evening? And thank you, Troy, for bringing me something I hadn't had before.
That's amazing, yeah. And the other thing too is the story in the bottle, but also the experience of how you got it. So for me to be able to go and have this brilliant tasting at Dragonette with and meeting the winemakers and the family that's doing it, and the producers and the crew there, and seeing the space, and then grabbing something that Timothy hadn't ever tried before and bringing that, because God knows he's shared so many wine excursions with me, and so it's really a joyful thing to be able to share something that never before tried.
Yeah, and wine at its best is that kind of meeting of the time and place that it was made, the time and the place that it was found, and the time and the place that it was enjoyed. And we talk about wine being the most convivial of beverages. We want that thing to bring us together, to be enjoyed, and to tell some of those stories about where it was, how it was made, or what you did last week. So enjoy the time together, which we all have far too little of it.
True story. So cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to Dragonette for making some killer wines. And cheers to you. And we'll see you on the next one.
See you next time.
Happy drinking.